Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Still Mind channel. Amidst the hustle and bustle of our lives, filled with countless worries, pressures, and unanswered questions, have you ever paused for a moment to ask yourself, what truly is happiness? How can we attain true knowledge? And what makes a person truly great? Over 2.300 years ago, in the ancient land of Greece, there was a man who dedicated his entire life to finding the answers to these core questions. His name was Aristotle. If we imagine Western philosophy as a great, ancient tree, then Aristotle's teacher, Plato, planted the seed, but it was Aristotle who nurtured that tree, helping it to branch out and cast its shade over all human civilization that followed. He was born in 384 BC in Greece, became the most brilliant student at the academy founded by Plato, and later became the tutor to one of history's most renowned military geniuses, Alexander the Great. Aristotle's influence is immeasurable. He studied every field imaginable, from philosophy, politics, art, and ethics, to science, medicine, and logic. Arguably, no one in history has possessed a mind as comprehensive and systematic as his. His legacy isn't just books, but an entire method of thinking, the very foundation of modern science. But what makes Aristotle immortal isn't just his colossal body of knowledge. What truly makes us, people of the 21st century, still turn to him are his profoundly practical and insightful philosophies for living. His teachings are like a torch, illuminating the hidden corners of our souls, helping us find the path to a better, more meaningful life. Today, let's travel back in time together. Sit beside this great sage, and listen to 10 of his golden quotes on happiness and knowledge. Let's discover why, after more than 2 millennia, the wisdom of Aristotle remains just as relevant as ever. Quote number 1. Happiness depends upon ourselves. This is perhaps Aristotle's most fundamental and powerful assertion. In a world that constantly tells us happiness is something external, a fancier car, a higher-paying job, a bigger house, or the approval of others, Aristotle pulls us back to the most basic truth. Happiness is an internal state. It's not a destination, but a way of traveling. Think about it. You can have everything in the world and still feel empty. Conversely, some people live very simple lives, yet their souls are incredibly rich and at peace. Why the difference? Because happiness isn't about what happens to us, but how we interpret and respond to what happens. It's a conscious choice to find joy in the little things, to be grateful for what we have, and to build a purposeful life from the inside out. Aristotle called this ultimate state of happiness Eudaimonia, not just a fleeting feeling of joy, but the full flourishing of human potential. So, the next time you feel that something is missing in your life, ask yourself, am I searching for happiness? Or am I choosing to be happy? The answer could change everything. Quote number 2. The roots of education are bitter, but the fruit is sweet. Anyone who has ever endured long nights studying for exams, spent months painstakingly learning a new skill, or struggled with a difficult concept will understand this quote deeply. The path to knowledge has never been an easy one. Its roots are discipline, moments of battling laziness, discouragement, and even failure. They are bitter, indeed. But Aristotle reminds us of the other part of the tree, the fruit. The fruit of education isn't just a degree or a good job. It is freedom. Knowledge gives you the freedom to choose, to not be led astray by others. It gives you the ability to see the true nature of problems and solve the complex challenges of life. It opens doors to opportunities you never knew existed. And most importantly, it shapes who you are, a deeper, more confident version of yourself, capable of contributing more to society. The bitterness of today is the price for the sweetness of tomorrow. And that is an investment that always pays off. Quote number 3. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. This is one of Aristotle's most famous and influential quotes. It shatters the illusion of overnight success. We often look at exceptional people and think they possess some innate talent or were blessed with a stroke of luck. But Aristotle points out that the truth is both simpler and much harsher. Greatness is built from the bricks of habit. An Olympic athlete doesn't become a champion because of one brilliant performance. He is a champion because of thousands of grueling training sessions in obscurity. A brilliant novelist doesn't write a masterpiece in a single burst of inspiration. That work is the crystallization of thousands of hours sitting before a blank page. Even when ideas run dry. This quote carries a message that is both challenging and liberating. Challenging, because it demands persistence and discipline. But also liberating, because it means that any one of us can achieve excellence. It doesn't matter where you start. What matters is what you do every day. Want to be healthier? Exercise daily. Want to become wiser? Read daily. Your character and your achievements are not defined by a few grand actions, but by the sum of the small habits you repeat, day in and day out. Quote number 4. A friend is a single soul dwelling in two bodies. In the age of social media, we can have thousands of friends, but how many of them truly understand us? Over 2,000 years ago, Aristotle offered a definition of friendship so profound that it has lost none of its power. A single soul dwelling in two bodies. It's not just about having common interests or getting along well. It means a deep resonance of values, of how you see the world. It's the person you can sit with in complete silence for hours without feeling awkward. It's the person who celebrates your successes as if they were their own, and feels your pain without needing an explanation. A true friend, according to Aristotle, is a mirror reflecting the best parts of you, and also the person brave enough to point out your flaws to help you become better. This friendship is not based on utility or pleasure, but on mutual respect and wanting the best for each other. In this ever-changing life, finding such a soul is truly one of the most precious treasures we can possess. Quote number 5. The aim of art is not to represent the outward appearance of things, but their inward significance. Art is not a camera that simply copies reality. If it were, it would hold no special value. Aristotle believed the role of art is much greater. It distills what is chaotic, finds meaning in the meaningless, and brings order to human emotion. A war film doesn't just show its brutality, it also celebrates courage and humanity in the face of adversity. A sad piece of music doesn't just make us wallow in sorrow, it helps us feel understood. To know that we are not alone in our pain. A painting doesn't just depict a flower, it captures the flower's fragile beauty and its fierce will to live. In this way, art purifies our emotions, a process Aristotle called catharsis. It helps us confront difficult feelings like fear and tragedy in a safe space, and then emerge with a cleansed soul and a deeper insight into life. Art lifts us above stark reality and shows us the world not just as it is, but as it could be. Quote number 6. The mark of an educated mind is the ability to master oneself. In our information age, it's easy to confuse knowing a lot with being educated. You can memorize thousands of facts, quote books verbatim, but if that knowledge doesn't help you control your own desires, your anger, or your fears, then according to Aristotle, you are not yet truly educated. True knowledge is not for showing off, it's a tool for self-improvement. It's like a torch that shines into our own inner world, helping us recognize our weaknesses, our biases, and our irrational impulses. A truly educated person uses reason to master their emotions, not the other way around. They know when to speak and when to be silent. They understand that the greatest power isn't controlling others, but controlling oneself. This is the transformation from knowledge into wisdom. Quote number 7. Anybody can become angry, that is easy. But to be angry with the right person and to the right degree and at the right time and for the right purpose, and in the right way, that is not easy. This quote is a perfect articulation of emotional intelligence. Anger is a natural human emotion, and Aristotle doesn't suggest we should suppress it entirely. The problem isn't the anger itself, but how we express it. To get angry indiscriminately, to take it out on innocent people, or to be angered by trivial things. These are signs of weakness and a lack of control. But to use anger purposefully, for instance, anger at injustice, to defend what is right, with a measured and rational attitude, that is a sign of virtue and wisdom. This requires deep self-awareness. Why am I angry? Is this anger justified? Is this level of anger appropriate? How can I express it to solve the problem, rather than make things worse? Mastering anger in the way Aristotle describes is one of the highest peaks of maturity. Quote number 8. Hope is a waking dream. Hope, in Aristotle's view, isn't wishful thinking, like, I wish I'd win the lottery. That's the dream of a sleeping person. Hope is a waking dream, an entirely different state. A person who is awake is fully aware of reality, seeing all the difficulties and challenges ahead. But instead of despairing, they still look toward a better future and actively work to make that future a reality. Hope is the mental energy that drives a scientist to continue their research after hundreds of failures. Hope is the strength that helps a person overcome a serious illness. Hope is the fire in the heart of a social activist fighting for a more just world. It is the combination of a vision for a brighter future and the will to act in the present. It is the most powerful force that helps us get through the darkest nights of our lives. Quote number 9. For the things we have to learn before we can do them, we learn by doing them. Aristotle was a philosopher, but he wasn't someone who just sat in an ivory tower and thought. He was a biologist who dissected animals and observed nature. He believed that true knowledge doesn't come from just reading books or from abstract reasoning. It must be honed through experience and action. You can't learn to swim by reading a book about swimming. You have to get in the water. You can't become a great chef just by watching recipes. You have to get in the kitchen. Taste, experiment, fail, and try again. It is in the process of doing, of applying knowledge to practice, that the deepest insights are born. The hands teach the brain. Real-world problems force us to think creatively. So, don't just learn passively. Get your hands dirty, practice, and turn theory into tangible results. Because labor not only creates material wealth, it forges our intellect and our character. Quote number 10. Without friends, no one would choose to live, though he had all other goods. We began with internal happiness, and we end with an affirmation of the importance of relationships. This is not a contradiction. Aristotle believed that humans are by nature social animals, zoon politikon. We cannot exist and flourish in isolation. Personal happiness, however important, becomes meaningless if there is no one to share it with. Joy is multiplied and sorrow is divided when we have friends on our journey. Deep conversations, unconditional support, the feeling of belonging to a community, these are the essential pieces of a complete life. This quote is a powerful reminder that in our pursuit of success and self-improvement, we must never forget to nurture the relationships around us. Because in the end, it is love and connection with others that make this life truly worth living. And those are 10 timeless quotes from Aristotle, the great sage who laid the foundations of Western thought. From happiness, education, and habit to friendship, his teachings are not abstract theories, but practical guides, timeless truths. He reminds us that happiness, knowledge, and character are not things that can be given or bought. They are the result of a process of training, of a conscious choice made every single day. And it all begins within ourselves. His 2.300-year-old wisdom is still a guiding beacon for us in today's complex world. If you found this video helpful and valuable, please give it a like to help spread this knowledge. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the notification bell so you don't miss our next journey into wisdom. In the next video, we will leave ancient Greece and travel to the east, to meet Confucius, the great sage who shaped the culture and ethics of East Asia for thousands of years. Thank you for listening. I'm Still Mind. See you on the next journey.